The sound of howling wind and distant whispers. There are stories, whispered among those who live near the mountains. Stories of travelers who never return. Of something lurking in the snow. This is a real account. A true horror that unfolded on a frozen night. They say the snow buries secrets. That the cold preserves things best left forgotten. But sometimes, the snow doesn't just cover what's beneath it, it brings something with it. Something ancient. Something waiting. Some who ventured into these mountains speak of whispers carried by the wind, voices calling their names from the darkness. Others have seen figures standing motionless in the blizzard, their hollow eyes locked onto passing travelers. And then there are the ones who never make it back, leaving behind only abandoned cars, their doors open, their footprints stopping abruptly, as if they simply vanished. Fade in, a car struggling through a thick snow-covered road, headlights barely cutting through the storm. They had no idea that the night would turn into their worst nightmare. That the snowstorm wasn't the only thing waiting for them in the dark. That something had already noticed them, long before they saw it. Inside the car, Jason grips the wheel, his knuckles white. The wind outside howls unnaturally, almost like a voice. Jason tense, gripping the wheel. I told you we should have left earlier. This storm is getting worse. Lisa nervous, looking at the GPS. The cabin is just a few miles away. We'll be fine, right? The car suddenly sputters. The engine dies. Silence, except for the wind beating against the windows. Jason, no, 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 no. Not now. He tries turning the key, but the engine won't start. Lisa shifts in her seat, glancing out into the pitch-black night, where the snowflakes seem to move, unnaturally. Lisa whispering, Jason. I swear I just saw something move. Jason exhales sharply, his breath visible in the freezing air. He follows Lisa's gaze into the dark woods. At first, nothing. Just snow. But then, a shadow shifts between the trees. Jason's shaky voice, it's probably a deer or something. Lisa's eyes widen. She grabs Jason's arm, her voice trembling. Lisa, that's not a deer. It's standing too still, it's watching us. Jason squints, the headlights flickering as if struggling to stay alive. And then, a face. Not human. Pale, hollow eyes reflecting the dim light. A gaping mouth that seems to stretch unnaturally. Jason whispering, barely breathing, what the hell? Suddenly, the radio crackles to life, static mixed with garbled whispers. The voice is distorted, eerie, barely comprehensible. Radio whispering, layered voices overlapping, you shouldn't have come. Lisa covers her mouth to muffle a scream. Jason fumbles for his phone, but there's no signal. The shadow moves closer, slow but deliberate, the sound of crunching snow echoing unnaturally in the silence. Lisa whispering, tears forming in her eyes, Jason, what do we do? The shadow stops, just at the edge of the headlight's reach. And then, in the blink of an eye, it's gone. A beat of silence. Jason's breath is ragged. Lisa's fingers dig into his arm. Suddenly, a loud thud against the roof of the car. Then another. It sounds like heavy footsteps, circling above them. Lisa gasps, clutching Jason's arm tighter. Jason reaches for the door handle, hesitates, and then silence. The wind outside suddenly stops. The air inside the car feels heavier, suffocating. Jason and Lisa look at each other, their breath fogging up the windows. A scraping sound starts from the back of the car, slow and deliberate, like nails dragging across metal. The sound moves closer. Lisa's hand moves to the lock button, but before she can press it, a sharp, deliberate knock on the windshield makes her scream. Jason jerks his head forward, eyes wide. The windshield is fogging up too fast now, as if something is breathing on it from the outside. Then, slow, deliberate tapping on the driver's side window. A single handprint appears on the frosted glass, long fingers, too many joints. A breathy whisper from outside, impossibly close. Voice unnatural, layered voices, let me in. Jason voice breaking, we run. Lisa nods, barely able to move from fear. Jason grips her hand tight. They throw open the doors and bolt into the blizzard, their footprints vanishing almost instantly under the falling snow. Behind them, the car radio continues to whisper. Radio growing fainter, you can't run. The camera lingers on the abandoned car, its headlights flickering before a dark, clawed hand slowly presses against the fogged-up window. The couple was found the next morning frozen in the snow, their faces twisted in terror. No tracks. No signs of struggle. Only the car and something that should not exist. But if they vanished without a trace, then who left the handprint on the glass? Whispering voice, and who's watching you? But remember, the darkness isn't just out there, it's waiting inside too.